Have you ever wondered what a day in the life of a chicken looks like? Keep watching to see what PJ gets up to all day today.
Howdy, and welcome to the Bar SC Ranch, where you will experience our journey of running a family business, caring for animals, and doing life together. Subscribe now and be inspired here at the Bar SC.
Today, PJ and I are going to teach you guys all about what makes a chicken a chicken. So PJ's going to go on a little bit of a journey looking for others of her own kind, and we're going to learn along the way what it is about chickens that makes them so special. But something to know about PJ is that while she's a super awesome chicken and is very friendly, and you'll see, a lot of her being super awesome today, is that her feet, and while they look like this isn't what they're supposed to look like. PJ has a deformity, which makes her feet appear this way. There's nothing to be done to fix it. But she's just kind of a little lovable guy that we make sure doesn't have to run around too much on the rocks, and they're not hurting her at all in the slightest. We keep a really good close watch on her feet. But she loves to go on adventures and loves to be parts of these videos, so keep watching to learn all about chickens. Are you my mother?
No, of course I'm not. You have a beak, and I have teeth.
So chickens use their beaks, of course, for eating, just like we would use our mouths and our teeth. But chickens don't have teeth. All they have is what you can see of the outside of their beak and a little tiny tongue. But they're actually incredibly good at hitting, and their eye-to-beak coordination is absolutely fantastic. If you put, a little dot on the floor, they will peck right at it every single time with some really impressive accuracy. But they use their beak just to pick anything off the ground they think they can eat. Maybe they shouldn't be eating it. They're probably still going to eat it. They also, of course, make lots of noise, out of their beak, and they squawk and things like that. They will sometimes peck at other birds if you've got multiple chickens or you see multiple chickens interacting. Sometimes they'll peck at one another, but not normally severely. It doesn't hurt. Like sometimes the chickens will peck if you have nail polish or a freckle on your hand. They'll peck at that. And it can be surprising, but it's not painful. Are you my mother?
No. I don't have wings.
So chickens also have wings, and we can look at their wings and see all of the different feathers they have on their wings. These feathers and their wings will help some chickens do a little bit of flying. Not a chicken like Prim here. She's a little bit too squat, a little short and round. But chickens like PJ are actually really good at flying, and PJ can fly actually a pretty decent distance before having to land again. She doesn't have the best control. It's not like, a pigeon or anything like that, but they do a pretty good job. Their wings they'll also use to keep baby chicks and eggs warm and safe. So you'll see mama hens with their baby chicks walking around, kind of holding their wings out to the side to provide a little bit of shelter, a little bit of safety for their baby chicks. They can also use their wings when they're hot. They'll lift their wings up off of their body, and almost like a dog, they pant kind of like a dog, and they hold those wings out just to get a little bit of airflow all in through their feathers and help cool off their bodies.
Are you my mother? I think you're made out of tin. Never mind. Are you my mother?
No, dude. I don't have feathers. I've got fur.
So chickens are unlike other animals in that they have feathers. And these feathers, while most birds have them and it helps them fly, chickens don't do a whole lot of flying. They can fly short distances and just a little bit off the ground, but not like other birds that you would see. The feathers that are on them actually, what we would think of as shedding, but they call it molting with chickens. They molt once a year, and all the feathers on the chicken's body, almost all of them, fall out and are replaced with other feathers. And that's the only time throughout the year that the chickens are actually growing in new feathers. So if something were to happen to your chicken, where they got really dirty or they got paint on them or anything like that, that would stay there for a full year before that would go away, because those feathers stay there with the chicken for about a year. But when they're molting, they look absolutely ridiculous because they're running around like half feathered. It's a very uncomfortable time for your chickens. So if you're keeping chickens at home and they're going through a molt, you want to make sure not to handle them too much during that time, because it's a very uncomfortable time. Think about if you were covered in feathers and suddenly lost half of them. It would be a little bit uncomfortable. So my chicken Penelope got paint on her one year because Grace was painting our horse barn, and she was painting it red, and so Penelope, who's a white and black chicken, had red paint like all over her. It looked absolutely terrifying. But it wasn't a big deal, of course it was fine. Until, like a year later, the chicken still had paint all over her. But now she is unpainted. She went through a molt, looked ridiculous for a few weeks, but now she is paint-free.
Hey, are you my mother?
No, I have big ears. Do you even have ears?
Good question.
So chickens' ears are different from ours and different from other animals because they don't have an external ear lobe in the same way that we do. Chicken ears actually just appear to be little holes right into the side of their head. So they can hear, but they don't have that same lobe that we do that directs the sound. So they can hear from all directions all the way around them. But hearing is not necessarily their primary sense. They're going to use their eyes an awful lot, which is hard for such a fluffy-headed little chicken like Prim. But other chickens, they're very visual. Anything they see that's brightly colored or that stands out from its surroundings, they're going to go peck at it. So the ears are useful for hearing predators, hearing people approaching, things like that. But to find food, they're using their eyes.
No, dude, my hair looks so cool. It's nice and spiked. You have got that weird red thing on your head. Is that even hair?
My mohawk.
What? That don't look like no mohawk. Don't you see the gel in my hair? I worked all morning trying to get this ready.
So chicken combs come in all shapes and sizes. They even come in different colors. So a chicken like Prim here has a black comb, and actually a very, very tiny one. You really can't see it with all of the fluff she has going on her head. But chickens like Mo and chickens like PJ have very large combs. They're bright red, really easy to see. Having a big bright red comb doesn't automatically make a chicken a rooster. Hens can have them as well. But if you compare a hen and a rooster of the same breed, typically the rooster is going to have the brighter red, larger comb. But the combs can be used in the summertime to cool off the chickens. So they use them kind of like how a dog, you know, the tongue is where the majority of the cooling comes from. With chickens, they use that comb. A lot of heat is lost through the comb, which is very helpful in the summertime for chickens who have very large combs. They're able to cool more effectively. But in the winter time, and not obviously here in California, but in places where they get snow or that it freezes, they can actually get frostbite on the comb because they don't get quite enough circulation there to keep it as warm as the rest of them. So that's something to look out for. If you're in a cooler climate and you're dealing with chickens, people will actually put like petroleum jelly on the comb, which to me just sounds awful. It's got to be so sticky and dirty. So I'm glad, you know, that we live here in California where we don't have to do that. But also, how terrible to have a part of your head get frostbite. So I think we'll stick with California here in our, you know, furry combless little chickens like Prim. My mother! Mom! I found you! Thanks for coming along with PJ and I today on all of her adventures. We hope that you learned a little something about chickens and that you'll keep checking back to learn even more about all of our fun animals here.
If you enjoyed this video, we would love to hear from you. Like and subscribe, and leave us a comment on what you'd like to see in future episodes. We'll see you back at the ranch.